Hey, it's been a while. Welcome back. Been asked to take a look at a new actual play. Folks, this is an official actual play of name brand Dungeons and Dragons. We're in for a treat. Some of these faces are going to be familiar to you. They certainly were familiar to me. I was expecting a start in a well. We're not going to get that. We're going to get something else. Let's take a look at this. And as we are wont to do, we've got a hot drink in hand. Got some cool jazz playing. We've got some opinions. I am your host, Crispy, an aggressive role player. Some say toxic. Not true. I'm here to help out. Jasmine, Neil, Devora, Mayana, I'm sorry if I'm saying your names wrong, and Christian. I'm going to give you my take as an aggressive role player on this latest official Dungeon Masters game session. So let's look at this together. And I'm going to point out things that I think are done well. Yes, I am. And I'll give some suggestions where I think there could be some improvement. And we'll do it all in good fun with the minimal amount of collateral damage. And let's fade out that music. This is how we fade out the music, folks. I am still a one-hit, one-take wonder. But we're learning. We're learning together. Join me now. Let's get right into this.
It is a beautiful morning in Baldur's Gate. 4 a.m. The city looks eerie in the light fog that is drifting in out of the bay in Brampton District. The sounds of heeled shoes of clerics clacking on the cobblestones as they get ready to go about their shifts in the nearby hospital comes drifting on the wind, almost piercing the quietness of this early hour. A small crow lands on a lamppost. It clacks its beak, its beautiful oil-slick feathers standing up particularly starkly against this sort of pale, soggy sky. It fidgets with a letter in its beak, hovering outside the window. And then, boom! The entire city is racked by an...
Okay. Now, first suggestion here, Jasmine. I know your sound engineer is coming in behind. There's and adding in the sound effects, but boom doesn't really do it for me. Like I would say this requires a little more emphasis on the explosion. But let's keep going. Okay, it's cool. This is better. The last time I watched one of your games, Jasmine, where you were running the game, you made the bold decision to start the party off trapped in a well. And I think this is a much better choice. Start things off with a bang. Yeah, let's see how it goes.
Explosion. The crow takes flight in an explosion of black feathers, and down the street we see it. 4 brave souls standing off against their arch nemesis. A magic wielder, fire in her eyes, malice in her heart, stares you down, Professor Krem.
Ah.
Your old rival.
All right, this is Neil. We've seen him before. He was playing in a game that was being run by Abrea. We looked at that. He is a professional voice actor. Let's see how Neil does on his turn.
Delia de Karen, now wielding magics you helped her develop against you. She is robed in purple and red, and her eyes glimmer, and you know in your heart, the day you chose to chase her down is the day you sought your own death.
Okay, I can understand, Jasmine, why you're doing this kind of preamble. You're trying to set the stage. This is episode 1. I just feel like it's coming from the wrong place and at the wrong time. There's been an explosion. My imagination is focused on the explosion. Now, you said that 4 people silhouetted on the street by the explosion. All right, let's go right to them. What are they doing? They've got to be doing something. Instead, we're getting a bit of an exposition dump here. I don't like exposition dumps. I prefer to avoid them. But okay, well, let's give you a pass. Let's just see how it goes. I've got something that's developing as a thought, Jasmine, I can pass along to you, but let's just see. Let's give it a few more time. I'm going to let you cook.
She raises her hands to prepare another spell to wield against you. What do you do?
I scream out.
Okay. Now, this is a tutorial of sorts, as I understand it, for people that have just picked up their shiny new Dungeons and Dragons books, and they've read through it, and it seems completely indecipherable to them. So they go on YouTube and they say, well, I'll just search out and see. Dungeon Masters, this is the official. 1 million people watch this, by the way. And they'll show me how to play the game. And the first thing they hear is, okay, the Dungeon Master then cues that it's my turn by saying, what do you do? Folks, those of you that have been with me for a little while, you know that I don't think that that's necessary. The description by Jasmine, yeah, that's necessary. But the what do you do? Not necessary. In fact, you can just scrub that right out of your vocabulary, and it'll be fine. It will be fine. Trust me, you don't need it. Okay, Neil, take it away.
To my friends,
we have to stop her. She's out of control. Darling, please just do your thing. You need to attack her.
and with that, I'm going to take out my repeating crossbow and just start. And as I'm screaming at my wife to do something, I'm going to start shooting at her.
Decent turn. All right, new people out there, you're new to the hobby. What did he do on his turn? He communicated with another player. Not the Dungeon Master. He didn't say that to Jasmine. He said it to his wife across the table. It's a bold choice, but hey, let's go with it. His wife, this elf character, married to the gnome professor. Hey, it's an odd couple. And I think they play it a little like the odd couple. At any rate, so he says something to the other player. Hey, you got to stop her. And then I pull out my repeating crossbow and I point it at her and I shoot. Fantastic. Let's see how that goes. Is that not a good turn? I will submit to you, Jasmine. That's an excellent turn. What are you going to do with this turn? Short, too. I like that.
You strike a brave pose despite the carnage as you see like a fruit stall in ruins behind you, a crater where there used to be someone.
What is this? Why are we going into exposition mode again? He said what he was doing. Let it play out. Instead, it's like, no, this used to be someone's fruit stand or cabbages, even worse. And now the cabbage cart is a smoldering ruin. Think of the cabbages.
One's livelihood. What do we see as you pull?
Okay, so this is Jasmine, probably for the benefit of the audience, inviting Neil to describe the outward appearance of his character. But you're starting off with a dynamic scene, an explosion, immediate combat. Okay, I dig it. I like that. I'm an action guy too. So I like this start. But now we're going into, okay, describe how you look. What are you wearing? We're going to get into hairstyles eventually. The horror.
Pull out your repeating crossbow.
So we see this amazing looking, weird, strange contraption of a crossbow. It's made out of animal bones and sinew. This is actually attached to the reasonably soft and slightly pudgy arm of a small rock gnome who's got a white moustache, very elegant, these pins and ears that sit on a rather bulbous nose, a shock of white hair that is held up by various liquids and elements that he's been playing with and has been scratching his head, and so it stands out like a mad person's like hairdo. It's just crazy. And he's sort of standing there with one leg on top of the ruins of the building and the other leg wearing rubber boots and also this sort of like breeches. So as he starts shooting off these bolts into Adelia, he then turns to his wife and says,
Honey, come on, you gotta do something.
This is taking the turn twice. Do you not see how that's taking the turn twice? That's a repetition of the turn. I prefer the first go around.
I'm always the one doing something, Krem. This is me.
Okay, this is Devora. Devora? Not quite sure how you say it. Devora, I think there's a bit of a disconnect here. You're going with this comedic back and forth with the husband. There's an explosion in that. Like, why aren't you reacting to the explosion? Why aren't you doing something with that? I think that we're already seeing, Jasmine, a bit of a disconnect between your impactful start and then how the players are working with this scene.
Me, Zora Thornska. I like to be known as Thornska. On paper, I am Zora de la Creme, wife of Professor Creme de la Creme, an elf with pale, almost mossy green skin, very dark hair, and this crown of black thorns and night blooming flowers which sits on her head, and some pouches that are hanging by her belt, and she's wearing like a long green dress and is about to take an action, do something.
That green dress, as you look back.
What is it? What are you about to do? Say what it is you do before Jasmine can get in here with another exposition dump. Deborah, just say what you do.
Back over your shoulder to your wife.
Why are we back? What happened there? Okay, new people to the hobby. In this game, we take turns. I know that's not news to you because in every game, almost every game out there, even games where there's not a set turn order, there still is the concept of taking a turn. So I have some board games where there's no like set turns. Everyone goes at once. Pendulum is like that. But still, this isn't a new concept. You're going to take turns. Okay, whose turn is it? Is it still Neil's turn or is it Deborah's turn?
It stands out against the sort of carnage that has been wrecked in the street, and it reminds you of what's at stake. If you lose this fight, it isn't just revenge that slipped out of your hand.
Okay, Jasmine, you have a tendency, as we all have from time to time, to be very heavy-handed when it comes to telling players what their character thinks, how they respond, what this reminds them of, all of these things. New people out there, GM, you do not have to be so heavy-handed. These players are good players. In fact, they're professional players. They're getting paid for this. They can take the scene, take the explosion and the evil wizard, and they'll just run with it. And you know what? Your players can do that too. This whole thing of, no, you know that this is a really bad situation. There's another way I would suggest, Jasmine, of doing that. The world is populated. We know that because of the cabbage cart that got nuked with the big explosion. Why not have your wizard, if it is in fact the wizard's turn, why not have the wizard casually point at some other thing or have an errant spell effect and it just devastates something around them in the world? That can be much more effective. You're showing the threat level rather than just telling them as the player. In this case, you're saying, well, no, it's their character knows, but still, this is really, really, really dangerous. Show them. Much more effective. Again, this is done as a tutorial of sorts for new people, people new to the hobby. And I want people to join the hobby too. Isn't that surprising? Folks, are you surprised with that? Toxic as I am. I want new people. I want new people. I do. New people. The more that you can just show, the smoother the game will go.
Creme, it could be maybe the only person in this world that you really truly hold dear. This thought races through your mind. Roll to hit.
As I roll to hit.
It's still his turn. We're still trying to resolve the I fired off my cool bone sinew repeating crossbow thing. Then we did this weird thing with the missus, and then we're back. But thank goodness we get to know what dress she's wearing.
Hit, I also think.
I've never seen her look so elegant.
Aww.
So this is with my
I'm
proficiency.
gonna kill you.
It's just like, hey, when we get through this, I'm going to buy a farm in Pennsylvania. It's like that thing.
Okay, this is very common. And as a piece of entertainment, I understand that people like this. I'm trying to relate, but because I myself, Jasmine, don't really love the overuse of the stress release valve. Now, again, people that are not new to this channel will know what I'm talking about. If you're going to start big like this, I want to stay in this. I don't want to come out of it and go into laughing. That's relieving the stress entirely too soon. We haven't even seen anyone else take a turn yet. I can barely count Devra's as a turn. She didn't have an action. No, we're still trying to resolve Neil's actions. Let alone Mayana. Haven't seen her take a turn yet. And Christian, I don't even think you've seen Christian on the camera yet. Poor guy's not getting his screen time. Call your agent.
So this is a magical repeating crossbow. So it has a +1 to attack roll and +1 to bonus as well. I'm going to use my proficiency, which is +3, plus my dexterity +3. So that is...
Okay. Another tip for people new to me. Hi, thanks for joining. If you're still here, 17 minutes in, good on you. You can have games where there's a high degree of trust in the game. And what that means is you don't necessarily every time have to justify everything you're doing. I can just assume that Neil knows what to add to his dice roll when he uses his crossbow. Now, if there's some environmental impact that's going to change that, well, then Jasmine will let him know. But he can just have that high level of trust. You don't have to, well, it has this, and so I get to add this, and I get to add that. Look, we don't need that.
Is that actually a +7?
Yes.
Yeah, to my hit roll, which is cool.
Because I'm awesome.
Well, thank goodness for that, because that is not a great roll. It's a 9 + 7, which is 16, +1,
16.
17 in total.
17 in total. That is not going to work.
I got so distracted by how amazing my wife looks, that the shot goes off a little bit.
Your rival notices, and she says,
I actually like it when players describe their failures. So, good on you, Neil.
eyes here. Your shot goes wide, and she immediately responds.
What? So, okay. Neil said his shot went wide because he was distracted. Fine. Why are we describing it again, Jasmine?
In kind. Both of you give me a Constitution saving throw as her hand comes out and you see the air thicken around her fingers, and then you feel it. A cone of cold comes screaming, howling past the both of you, racking your bodies with a cold that hurts so much you want to die.
Hurts so much you want to die. That seems a little heavy-handed, Jasmine. Let them play their characters. Just describe this cold. Don't tell them how they respond to it. Let them do that. That's their job.
17 plus 2, 19.
That's a fail.
Dang.
And Constitution is a 11 + 5 for 16.
That is also a failure, unfortunately, for both of you, so you will be taking the full brunt of this.
My moustache
These
just
numbers.
freezes.
15. 20.
Okay, new people. We all love rolling the dice. It's true. If you're rolling a lot of dice, you can take average damage. It's not against the rules. You can do it. It's totally fine.
28 points of cold
Oh,
damage.
come on.
28 points of cold damage. I like it when players get to describe what that looks like for them. Because just 28 points of cold damage, what does that look like? I don't know.
We're friends.
We got this.
You feel the
Neil started doing that. He started talking about how his mustache is all frozen, solid. That's cool. I like that. Mayana, you could have done something like that. Just a quick, brief description of what we see indicates just how damaging this was to you, not just 28 hit points. Does she role play that? 28 hit points. What does she do?
ice begin to these ice shards begin to shoot through both of you. It is so cold. Your breath feels like it's freezing in your lungs and breathing hurts. Professor Krem, you do not take the full brunt of the damage.
Oh, good.
You only take half. As the small form of your lab assistant.
Okay, let's talk about the lab assistant. This is the NPC tied to Neil. Professor Creme. Creme de la creme. I want you to take a step back. Just think about what is the role of this lab assistant? Just watch.
Comes and throws itself in front of you. A young reborn, a young child that you saved from death, brought back from the brink. As the cold begins to sort of rob you of your breath, recall to us the day that you brought this small child back to life. This 12-year-old goblin with a dirty face and a snotty nose.
Oh, you son of a...
My God!
Unbelievable.
Her name is Lavendria, but
Lavendria,
you call her Lavender lovingly.
Okay, so Lavender is a child who died and was brought back. How was she brought back to life?
Lavendria, no! So as he screams out, Lavendria, no! And she takes most of the damage that was meant for him. We sort of flash into his mind's eye of the first time. And actually we cut back to...
Are we going to do flashbacks right in the middle of a tense combat? Is that how... Why would we do that? What are the other players doing through all this? This is still Neil's turn?
A moment where she is actually curled up on the outside in the alleyway that is next to our house, and he finds her and she is half dead. And although she is near death's door, he decides to try and help her, and he takes her down to the laboratory. And he has been working on an experiment, so there's a part selfish.
He runs, part selfish. He takes a homeless child near death's door and then runs an experiment on her. Have we thought this through? Thought this through?
Of him thinking,
Well, this might make a good opportunity to try out my theory.
Oh, good. Yeah. Dying child. Let's try out the theory. She's his lab rat. Just grabs child, dying in an alleyway. Oh, no one would object.
and so he does try an experimental theory of fusing various magical means inside her, and miraculously, it works against all odds, and he manages to keep her alive. It's almost like a constant spare the dying spell that brings her back into enough form. So she's not as athletic as she might have been, but she's alive, and she is of use, and she is herself.
You see your handiwork.
She's of use. So the good professor saved a dying child by an experimental means. This is Dungeons and Dragons, right? So you could save her with, I don't know, a cure spell or cure light or something. Call for the cleric. I don't know. I mean, it's a goblin, so maybe Maybe those come cheap. I don't know. But then you do this and she just becomes your assistant.
Work sort of unfold like a beautiful mechanical ballet in front of you. She's picked up all the best parts of your artificering. You see her deploy a small metal shield that kind of unfurls like between her.
This is a verbal tick. We all have them, Jasmine. So don't take this too hard. When you watch your sessions, as I assume you do, when you rewatch your sessions, pay attention to how many times you say kinda.
Her two hands, and you see her small form braced against it as she says, "It's okay. We're gonna get through this."
That's my student. It's sort of getting happy. Are we gonna? So we partly protected, but she's not protected.
Because she's so small, she can really only protect your small gnomish form.
Fine. I'm gonna duck behind her and sort of.
That's great. You're doing fantastically well.
The gravity of how dangerous the situation is has not yet dawned on your young goblin apprentice, who's maybe too young and optimistic to realize exactly how much danger both of your lives are in. But you are experienced enough to know that you are doing battle with a foe, the likes of which you have not contended with before.
How would you know that?
Your trained eye makes eye contact on the rooftop nearby with you, Eloine. The both of you exchange.
Okay. I really like how Christian plays. So for those of you that only watch these videos to see me lose my mind, I'm not going to lose my mind with Christian. He is a solid player. He's really good. Listen to his turns. Listen to this turn. Now, unfortunately, Jasmine, you're still way too much exposition, way too present in the game.
Imagine a knowing look as partners who have been in similar situations before.
Well, Eloine Emberleaf is a copper-skinned elf of 200 years, give or take a couple of decades, but he looks like he's 40, 45, and he's got long black hair. He's a Latino for all intents and purposes, and he has an arrow notched, and he's trying to find his aim for true purchase. And he's trying to catch his breath, and he screams in Gnomish, "You don't get to die yet. You owe us too much money." And I cast Hunter's Mark on Delia, and an icy crown of thorns, similar in vein to Zora, kind of makes purchase on her on Delia's head, and I take 2 shots.
Roll to hit.
Awesome. Yeah, you had the whole description in Latino elf, whatever. We're going to give him that. He had some dialogue. It was dialogue to another player. Great, because it exists in the world. He described his hunter's mark as a crown that magically appears on his target. That's cool. And then he's describing how he's holding his shot, looking for the right angle, and then he lets fly. Great. It wasn't a long turn. It worked very well. He's a good player. Christian, top marks from me, man. Really good.
17 plus 9.
Just give us the number. Just give us the total number. Don't give us the equation. Just say 20. You can roll these. There's ways to do this that are much, much better. You could just roll the 2 attacks. You have more than one D20. Just roll both. Add the same modifier to both. Give the lowest. Give the lowest number. If Jasmine says hit, then they both hit.
That's a hit. So 26.
I love the idea that you screamed it out my. Oh, who was that?
Neil, the other players were not talking when you were talking and taking your turn.
Do you hear that?
12 plus 9, so 21.
Both are hits. Go ahead and roll
so-
damage.
Okay. He already knows he's going to roll damage. I feel like this should all be happening concurrently. It's all the same. It's all happening at once. And I don't need the equation. Why do you need the equation?
6. 1, that's 7 plus 8 is 15 plus
I know I don't love this, Christian, but I do say I do like your turns. When other than this math bit, which I think can be much smoother than it is, but still, I like your turns.
D6 twice.
I've watched this, folks. I've watched the whole thing, both episodes.
20.
More than once, by the way.
26.
Whoa.
Plus a d4 of cold damage. 27 points of damage.
27 points of damage.
What does that look like, though? What does it look like? 27 points of damage is meaningless without a description.
Delia shrugs off your 2 hefty arrows almost as though she barely feels them. It's like the flapping of a butterfly's wings.
No, I don't need the metaphor. Just describe what we see, Jasmine. I don't need the metaphor of the butterfly wings that are batting my cheek and it's just the whatever. I don't need that. Just what does she do that indicates that this was nothing to her?
In front of the force of a tornado. Your view of Zora is interrupted as Delia teleports in front of you.
As in she was out here and then...
Yes.
Oh, shit. Okay.
And then, as she steps through the veil of reality, away from Krem and appears right in front of you, it's unnerving to be this close to her. And in fact, as you look at her now, you see in her eyes...
As you look at her, it's unnerving to you. Those are all descriptions, Jasmine, of what Christian can be doing. In fact, he is already doing that when he said his expletive. Huh? Not made for kids. He's already doing that, Jasmine. Now you have to go in here and editorialize it? No, you don't.
Malice and death and hunger. A hunger that's not unfamiliar to you. It is a 17 to hit.
Yes, it does.
30 points of damage as
What kind of damage? What is it that she does? She hurts his feelings? What does she do?
you feel her hand kind of come around your neck and
Kinda
close
what?
tighter and tighter and tighter. The last time you felt such a sensation, you were in a graveyard, faced with a creature of death that fed upon those that you robbed. Do you recall that night?
I do. And
There's a flashback, Jasmine. Really? During the middle of this big, impactful fight to start things off?
because I didn't get a good look at who it was that wrapped their hands around my throat that night, there's a flicker of concern that it might be her.
You see the red around Delia's pupils kind of flare, and she leans in close to your ear, and you feel her forked tongue kind of touch you very lightly as she says, "I know what you are."
Get her number.
I sort of give in to the choke. I don't say it, but I'm offering it to her. Do it, please.
You are
Still, I love Christian's turns. They're short, they're impactful. It's a solid player, this guy.
looking at Elowen, and then all of a sudden, you are not. You're looking at the back of her head, and you can't see Elowen anymore. You maybe heard a maybe brief exclamation of pain as your body was racked with this damage, but that's the last you heard or saw of him.
I have a very important question.
Yes, darling.
What's Delia's hairstyle?
Why is that an important question?
Great question. Really important.
Genuinely.
No, that's really important.
Yeah.
Ladies,
Yeah, Delia's hair is like kind of half pulled up with like this very strange kind of pin holding it back.
Somebody tell Christian, I would love to run a game for him.
And then the rest of it kind of falls in a perfect black waterfall down over her shoulders.
Does it look like maybe she spent some time on it this morning?
Absolutely.
Yeah, okay. Then I kind of say to myself, well, I know what's very bad for a good hairstyle, and I'll say one thing. We've been hunting her for a while. I don't know if they can hear me, but I'm just, you know.
This is all running through your head.
Let's say. If there's one thing I know, she's pretty dangerous, but she has got good hair. And one thing that's not good for good hair, sleet. So I will cast a sleet storm on her perfect hair. Because if I can damage her ego as well as kill her, I mean, that's like double damage.
That's double damage.
Absolutely.
Spoiler. It's not double damage.
Well, Sleet Storm is a conjuration spell. It's an action with 150 feet, and it's a concentration spell of up to a minute.
As you conjure the sleet storm, normally you're a lot more careful about this because it does affect everyone in this area, not just your enemies, but also your friends. But you know that the situation is dire. The clouds gather above your head. You've cast the spell before and you're familiar with this feeling. And instead of like the firmament parting an array of sunlight coming down, instead the firmament comes together and rains down almost violently upon her.
Look at this. Did she say the sleet storm is going to just be perfectly shaped so that it only affects the bad sorceress, wizard lady, sorcerer of Thay, wizard of Thay, and just misses Christian's character? Because look at where they put this template. Nice to have a perfect God's eye view of the tactics, hey? Nice to have that God's eye view.
As it does, you do see the hair begin to frizz and curl. And Eloise, you are dropped almost immediately, as then you see her turn around, looking at you, grinning. She takes her two hands and rubs them up across her face, smearing her eyeliner as she does so. And as her
She's wearing eyeliner.
hands come to her head and come down, you notice she is dispelling the disguise self spell. And as her hands come down over her shoulders and over her raiment, her hair disappears completely. Instead, you see ruins, not tattooed on her head, but etched into the flesh itself, leaving behind vicious scars. You see the shadows under her eyes get darker, and her clothing begins to change to a blood red color. Give me an Arcana check.
Oh my.
D&D, you're not avoiding the reputation of having only 3 skills that matter in the entire game.
Goodness.
And in fact, anybody that's looking at her can make this check.
Can we see her from Knock Vision?
Yes, because she's on a rooftop,
She's on a
so
rooftop,
yeah.
okay.
I've got a 10.
A 10.
7. I think as she's turning around, I just sort of catch my breath and I grab out her robes and I say,
So good, man. Christian, do you hear this? He's catching his breath. He's talking about why he fails. He's describing what his character's doing in the world. That's it. Good job, man.
you leave her alone.
We'll see if she takes pity.
I got a 19.
19.
18 plus 3.
Just don't give us the equation. Give us the final number. Even better, you could just say, what, Jasmine? You could even just say, roll Arcana and then say DC 17. And then the players would just say success or failure. You could even do that. Still using the rules.
Who of you know your foe? A red wizard of Thay.
Well, looks like it's time for tea.
As I literally crap myself.
Oh, yeah. See, this is what I was talking about earlier. There's supposed to be a big, impactful, suspenseful moment. And what does Neil do? Watch it again.
Well, looks like it's time for tea.
As I literally crap myself.
Jasmine. Unless it's explicitly in his contract that his agent has negotiated, wouldn't the Wizard of Thay, this deadly foe, look at such inattention as an affront to her power and just nuke the gnome? Nuke him.
You have been helping, aiding, and
Yeah,
abetting
so good.
a darkness which only seeks power for the sake of power, which wants to unravel the secrets of the multiverse and perhaps use them for their most foul.
If there's a word other than literally that is overused in modern vernacular, it's probably multiverse.
And violent ends. And in fact, she brings all of her rage and all of her anger down on you, almost in defiance, almost particularly because you asked her not to. Zora, Elowen, give me a Constitution saving throw. You need to beat a 20.
See, you could do that. Nice, Jasmine. DC 20, Constitution. Quick.
Go on, you go first.
No, you both roll at the same time. Then it's success, failure.
11.
11. All right.
You just say failure.
Ooh, I have 23.
Just say success.
"23 points of necrotic damage as she almost gets a few inches taller.
How does she, what happened there? What happened? Are you going to tell us now what happened? She gets taller and that damages the two of them?
Necrotic damage as she almost gets a few inches taller, drawing in the life from around her to enrich herself.
I'm done.
Cool. Okay. But couldn't we just start with that? Start with that. Okay. All right, Christian, you said something. What's going on? Down. Nice. Nice.
You all see Elowen fall to the floor unconscious as she almost becomes empowered, taking his life from him and becoming a few inches taller.
So, Jasmine, my suggestion here. This is a cool ability that your wizard has. If you're going to have some exposition, some description, this is where you need it. You're pulling the breath, the life force out, just streaming in. She's breathing it in as she grows a few inches taller, and all of the vegetation around, flower boxes on windows wilt. The air becomes cold and still, dead. That's cool. Or something like that. You don't have to say what I say. I'm sure you do it better. Although, be careful of the kinda and almost.
Standing over Zora imperiously as she does so. And she says,
"How dare you think to stand against me?"
and as she says this, you recall the only other time you were faced with a foe that made you feel this way. An entity that maybe gave you everything you have, but threatens every single day to take it all away. And you feel a voice, almost not your own, respond in kind.
That you could end her if you so wished.
Because you are also not what you appear to be.
What?
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to try.
She leans in close and says, I'm going to turn him inside out so you can see what he's made of. You know she's talking about Creme. Wesley.
Wow. Well, Wesley, who is a drow elf, she's got purple skin, pointed ears, shoulder-length curly white silver hair, and very intense, piercing eyes. She's got a mace that's sort of this like long, dark black metal, and it looks like the imprint of a star. It almost looks like if a head was cut off, and you see the inside part, and that's her weapon. And as she sees her companion drop to the ground unconscious, she looks a moment in utter hatred at Delia, but understands that in this moment, you require the most attention. So I kneel to the ground and I clutch my holy symbol and I pray to my deity, knowing in my heart that our time alive is not yet done. And I cast Mass Healing Word at third level.
Damn.
That is 2d4 plus 8. We'll see what we get back here. That's 4 plus 8, so 12 back.
What does your magic feel like to those that are blessed enough to be healed by it?
It's the comforting chill that comes with almost freezing to death, where you, for that moment, you feel warm.
I live in a place that gets cold. I have been cold. I'm not familiar with this feeling you're describing.
The comforting chill of when you almost freeze to
Yeah, what does
death.
that feel like, Mayana?
Yeah.
You know how like when you're gonna die from hypothermia?
But the warmth, and you don't. And it's the warmth that promises death but doesn't.
I love it.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
I do. That's beautiful.
Thank you. She is a grave domain cleric. She believes that death does in fact come.
This turn's too long. Okay. These turns are, you should have turns like Christian's turns. Christian is very good at keeping his turns a reasonable length.
For us all, but not every day.
As this warmth starts to envelop you, Eloine, you hear the fluttering of paper wings. And in your mind, as like your life is kind of flitting before your eyes and your vision is going in and out and you're having difficulty focusing since this wizard with which you're doing battle has dealt 2 nasty blows to you, you almost feel like you're hallucinating for a moment as you see 2 hands fighting over your soul metaphorically. One promising to keep you here, to keep you with your newfound family. Another promising you a new way forward. It beckons to you with one finger and says softly, "Oh, no, 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 no. That's not going to do. I think we can find a way out, just you and me. And maybe I can help your friends too. My time here is short. It might be a bit of a trust fall."
The moment she says she can help us, I say yes.
Before you all...
Christian, good. But Jasmine, why are you taking so much time with this?
Eloine disappears, whisked away in a flurry of mist and paper.
Well, normally my spell doesn't do that.
I'm now freaking out a little bit because he's just disappeared. My wife is right next to this creature. Is the storm that she's cooled down still going?
It is, and so the area there is all slick and difficult to traverse. These sheets of freezing rain are rapidly forming into layers of ice on this rooftop. And you watch with horror as, with a quick misty step, your apprentice says, "Get away from her, you bitch!"
Oh, why did you do that? Okay, so as she's misty stepping up, right? Mm-hmm. So as she does that, my hand just goes, "No, don't! You're too young!" And just my hand goes through nothingness, like the vapor, the mist or whatever it is that she does, and just scrabbles at nothing. I immediately turn and I want to take. I've got the little grappling hook mechanism that I have, like I make, and I want to sort of take out this little. It's like a wooden box with a grapple hook at the end, and it's got this like trigger mechanism. And I just want to shoot it up to the roof. I'm going to be honest. It's a prototype. It's supposed to, when I fire it up, it's supposed to draw me up, but I've never tested it. Shoot up this grappling hook. It hooks on, hopefully. It'll reel me up, hopefully, so I can zip up to try and look after the two things that matter most in my life, which is our adopted kind of daughter and my wife.
Yeah, give me a ranged attack. So this will be your dex and your proficiency together.
Cool, so that's a +6 on everything, which is cool.
I have to remember to look cool. I do it.
Okay, so +6, that is a 3 + 6 for a 9.
9.
Not great.
As your grappling hook hits its mark, you realize that it is indeed a bit of a flawed invention.
Yeah.
You see the hook perfectly kind of nestle in between the rock, right at the edge of where the shingles of this roof begin to lead up to the flat rooftop that your friends are on.
Aha!
But then your heart sinks as you see, instead of
Don't describe players the character reactions. Let the players describe their character reacting to the failure. Jasmine, you are playing too many characters. You have the whole world. Why do you have to now tell every player how their character reacts to everything in the world? All right. I think I've had enough. This goes on. I may check in on this later because this is, of course, how you're supposed to be playing the game, I guess. It's just, did you, Jasmine, I hope there's something here you can take. Look, this is much, much better than the other game of yours that I've watched. It's much better, clearly much better. But you still have this tendency to be way too intrusive when it comes to telling the players how their characters are going to behave in the world. That is their domain. Players. Neil, Mayana, Devra, your turns are pretty long. I would suggest you take a cue from Christian and what he's doing. And one thing I notice about Christian, very, very seldom does he pull that ripcord. I need to have the humor release, right? He very seldom does that. He stays in it. And I think the game is much improved by it, and his turns are short. And you'll notice when he takes turns, he says what he's going to say, usually talks to another player, which the others were doing too, to their credit. He'll talk about his action. He's very quick. I think he's fantastic. I think he's really good. This has been my reaction, honest reaction, not a hint of toxicity. Trying to give a few unsolicited pointers from a aggressive role play perspective. I think that there's a good opportunity here to be had, since this particular game appears to have some traction. 1 million people watched it. Wasn't released that long ago. You have a chance here, Jasmine, to really help new people in the hobby. But I worry that the example that you're giving of a GM is just going to be one that's going to lead GMs to feel like, boy, I have to play all their characters too. They don't. All right. And that's my 2 cents worth. Thanks for watching. I will catch you fine folks, on the next one. Until then, keep playing.